Hey everybody, I hope you can see my screen. And this is the drawing that we are going to draw today. It's a house with a beautiful garden, spring garden. So I'll give you a second to get your paper and a pencil and an eraser to get started. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and type in some comments so I know you're watching and I have a feedback that I can work on. So I work with the 2B pencil over here. You can use a HB, but 2B and HB and they work fine. 2B is usually for shading, but today's lesson HB works fine. So let's get started. Usually when I see a drawing, this is a drawing I have done. So I've sketched it out and did an outline with a marker, so you can get to see it well, and then you have a reference to see and draw along. You don't have to draw the exact same steps and exact same sizes either. You can customize it, but I'm going to draw along what I see here today, so to make it easier for all of you. If you have been in the class, already have seen some of my earlier tutorials, you understand that I start with making some points. The basic points here that I see, the basic structure here is sort of a triangle. So I'm going to make 3 points that you see over here. So I'm going to make some darker lines over here, but I suggest you go ahead and do some lighter lines, 3 points in a nice triangle where you can fit the whole structure in. So I assume you have to fit the whole structure in. So you want to make some points where you see the picture fits in, and then start joining these triangular points by making a curve outward. Nice and slow and easy. Slide your pencil down. Hold it at the very corner, very end, wherever you're comfortable with, and then make a curve right in the top over here, and then slide it down all the way through to reach out to the third point. So I've done an angle over here so you can see the inside of the roof, trying to make it look like a 3D. So that's the other point over here. I'm going to make an angle to show that the roof is, I can see the roof over here. So I need another point at the end of the roof to do the same. And then the curve in follows the same curve path that we've already made over here. Slightly inward, closing in towards the right hand side. And then just continue along the line to join the part down here. And then I'm going to make a slight angle as well over here, angled line. And then we'll come back to this point over here. To continue with the roof, make a point down in the depth over here, somewhere along the line, how deep the home is. So that's how deep I think it is. Because we are looking at a 3D angle again. This is kind of a whimsical home. It don't have to be an original built look with proper geometry, but you can do like a whimsical home. I'm going to join these lines over here again with a slight curve. These curves here are the ones which are going to give you a final look. If you do a very straight line, it wouldn't look good when you're trying to do a whimsical drawing. So let's make some beautiful curves. A curve over here, then a curve over here, down here. Then this line goes all the way down here. So I'm going to figure out how deep the roof is going to be, somewhere along this line over here. So I'm going to join that again with a slight curve to make it look beautiful, and then curve back out to reach to the point over there. Okay, so I made a little the roof higher up than the front look over here. So I'm going to make a point over there to see if I can draw the same thing. And then again, slight curve should do. Your lines don't have to be straight. Slightly curved is beautiful. I'm going to finish it off with the double line over here just to finish it. Okay. And the body of the home, how deep is the house going to be? In this picture, I don't have very good room over here, so I'm going to draw it very short. That makes it look more whimsical. So I'm going to draw it a little over here. That's how deep it is, I think. The same thing over here. So I'm not going to start drawing from here, but inside the roof over here. And then go all the way to match the point on the other side, symmetrical. Okay. So far, I think you're good. And then it's the basic structure of the home, so I think you all should be able to draw it easy. And then to finish the other side of the home, do the same parallel line, but I'm going to curve it like I said, make the point over here, curve it in to make it look like a whimsical drawing again. Okay, there we are. We have a basic structure, and then we're going to add details a little bit later. So to fill in a little more structures in between, so I'm going to do the door over here. The entrance for the door is also follows the same concept of having to look at the angle. I'm going to make a point right down. You don't have to be right in the center over here. It will look better if it's slightly on the corner side or towards your left. Make a point, and then make a point for the either side of the doors ends. I'm going to put 2 points one over here. So when you're making those points, make sure you have the room to do the rest of the details as well. So that's what I usually consider. So that's the point over there. And there's another point that I think symmetrical to the center over here, somewhere along this spot over here. So this here is my outer line of this door over here, entrance to the door. And then there's a curve. So these are my helper points. I'm going to draw these so I can join them along this with a nice curve again. My drawing technique is, one drawing tip is, don't draw it at a stretch. Your lines will be faulty. So you're going to sketch them down the path that you want to go with multiple lines. And your lines have to be lighter. So when you erase them, you don't want to see all those marks behind those lines. Continue doing the same thing on this side as well with a nice curve, and then join down the line, the point over here. Okay. So again, because it's an angle that we are seeing, so I'm going to make 2 points, just like we made over here, 2 points right on the top for the 2 lines that I have here, and then how far down they are going into the roof over here. So I'm going to work with the first point over here, and then just follow along the same curve path that I made, almost, but it's narrower on the top. So I'm going to do the curve and then follow along another line parallel to the line that you just drew. There you go. Okay, so that's the basic structure of the door entrance over here. So we'll join the door entrance over here and then make a slight angle over here that will show the depth of the entrance, and then join that back onto the line that we have. You also can join in a straight line, that way it will show the depth better. There you go. Now, so what else we have? What are the biggest structures in this drawing that we have? We have a chimney over up here, which is very easy. It's a rectangle in shape, so just let's plug that in. Make points for the chimney. It's at very end of the home over here. Let's draw that. You can make some nice curves again. You don't have to be exact. Okay. You can add details as you wish. But again, I said I'll follow along the drawing that I'm making. There's a double line for the roof over here, so I'm going to draw that. Let's figure out if it's in the inside or the outside. Like I'll draw it inside over here, make a point, and go all the way through and narrowing the top, right? So I'm gonna onto the outer side, make a thin line, thin strip, like a rim of the roof, and then follow along the same line, curve it in where it's curving in, nice easy curves, and then narrower at the top over here when it's joining. All right. So this part over here is the inside of the roof. So we're going to draw these lines which shows the inside of the roof, and those are details that we're going to come back to. And then, and to finish this up, there's another line over here. So we're going to do that line as well. Start over with the line that you already finished and then continue along the roof line in a parallel structure and then close it in. Okay, that gives the 3D depth of it. If you cannot follow the 3D angle, just go ahead and draw the basic structures: a triangle, a rectangle, which is slightly narrower on its longitudinal side, and then a door. You can do that as well. So the next structure I'm going to draw is a window top up here. This window is the same concept, again a 3D window. I'm going to draw the window with a curve. So how high is it? That high. How wide is it? That wide. And that deep. That wide and that deep. So I'm going to join these points with a nice curve again. It's important to position them into your picture wherever you're drawing. Even if it's smaller in size, that is totally fine. The lines here are more important to get the beauty out of it. The point that I use, the wider points that I use over here, I'm going to use the same point to continue along to give the depth of the window over here. So narrow on the top and then follow along the same line that you just drew and join at the bottom. And that's the window sill. It's a rectangle. Go ahead and draw the rectangle. Doesn't matter how deep it is. And close it in. Okay. I hope we got it thus far. Let's draw the other window, the same concept. Rectangle on the top. So make points for your rectangle. Wider rectangle. And then curved at the sides. So you want those curves, nice curves. So let's have those curves there. And then join them nicely. Yeah. And then how deep is the window from here? So the depth of the window is somewhat over here, I assume. Then start joining them with the same curves. It's about as adding in the rest of the structures that you see over here. You can feel free to add one or more windows. Lesser windows is fine too. So we are going to add the windows that I'm seeing here in the picture. The inner circle, inner rectangle is going to be slightly towards your right. That will show the angle. Unlike these curves over here, this is a rectangle. So you're going to do slightly towards your right. The same box that you're going to do slightly towards your right. Showing the 3D. So in this lesson, you're learning 3D drawing, you're learning layering, and you're learning details. I'm going to come back and erase these, but you can make a note of what you're learning in the class. So if you're finished drawing the rectangle, you can follow along to draw the rest of the details. We have one more window up here. You can draw it If you want to, this is just another detail. Go along the same concept of how high it is, how deep it is, and how wide it is. And then make the curve. Okay, so when you're looking at the home, this is the right angle of the home. So the angle that you're going to see is on the inner side of the window that you're going to see on is on this side, not on this side. So you're going to make 2 points and then narrow on the top and broad on the bottom. The same curve that you're drawing. Okay, let's add some details to these structures over here. The window. So you can start, you don't have to start right in the center of this curve over here. Start towards the left of the curve, the straight line down, and then do a parallel line. And then do a vertical line. A vertical line and a horizontal line to show the depth of the window over here. The same thing we're going to do over here, but a slightly different concept. We're not going to do the lines, but we're going to do just the window holes over here. So we can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to draw the top one, which is a curve. It has the same concept, a line, a curve, and then a line towards your left. The curve towards your left has the same concept of angled look. So you're going to draw an angle. Start at the narrow in the top and the broader in the bottom. That will give the depth. So the bottom window is a rectangle. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then narrow in the top, broader in the bottom. Okay. So the curve on the curve on this side, you can draw a smaller curve, a smaller windows area over here. And then you can see, because of the angle, you can see this way in the side. So you're going to draw this line over here. And then a rectangle down here, similar to the one this side. And then, but you're going to see the inner part of this side. So you're going to draw lines over here. That will give you the depth. Okay. See, so we got that far. Okay. Now we're going to draw the details in this window to finish it up. The same concept that we used over here. Vertical lines, 2 vertical lines, and 2 horizontal lines. I'm going to skip lifting up the pencil over here, so not to overlap, showing that it's behind this line, vertical bar over here. Also, to add more detail, I did the curtain inside the home, just a wiggly line to draw more detail. We can come back and add those details later, more details to it, but yeah, that's the basic structure. And then you're going to draw the stairs over down over here. So let's finish the stairs. So they're coming down this way, so make a point over here at an angle, not in a straight way where the door is ending, but at an angle, and then join it. And then from this point, you follow the same line that the door entrance is, the same line, but how far is it going? Probably to the entrance of the door almost. So you're going to draw a horizontal line to join these points. Okay, there we go. And then we're doing the same, we follow the same pattern, the angle over here, continue with the same angle because it's going to be the step, and then come way down, it's vertical angle, vertical line down straight 90-degree, and then you will join these 2 lines using the same parallel line over here. Okay, so we're going to continue with the same points one step down. Start with the point at an angle. So the same angle that we're going to focus, drawing a point at the angle, and then make another point over here, which is symmetrical to this point over here. Okay. And then join it on both sides. So when you do that, you can see already a step down like this way. And then straight down, and then join these lines over here. Perfect. Okay, so now we are going to the next section of the lesson to do the layering. The layering is the flowers over here that you see here are in a close-up view. So the close-up view is on this side. So you can choose to draw the close-up view over here. If you draw the close-up view on this side, you're going to erase all the background details. So if I draw the background trees like over here, try to sketch them in, that they're in somewhere in the background. Then if I draw all of these flowers here, I'm going to come back and erase these lines over here. So initially try to do a background this way, and then try to finish the picture. And now come back and add more details as you see fit. I added a fence over here, so I'm going to start with the fence. So the fence is somewhere over here and extended over until over here. So the fence I drew is showing the depth of the picture as well. So the one which is closer to the home is shorter. So I'm going to start a point which makes a triangle again. 3 points which make a triangle. And then I'll join only the top points over here in the triangle. And then work your way straight down. But this structure here is narrower than the ones that I'm going to draw up here. So I'm going to follow along with an angle over here and a secondary point that I made, and then just work your way straight down. That's the first one. So I'm going to draw a next one, which is closer to this, but a little wider, showing the angle and showing the depth of the picture in here. So pick a position which is parallel to this point over here, but a little wider one. The other 2 points of the triangle are a little wider. And then join them on the top. Work your way all the way down. This is closer to the eye. And then at an angle, another point closer to this one. And then work your way all through down. There you are. I'm going to continue adding the two as well. So when you're drawing, draw lightly. So you can, if you want to erase during the layering technique, you can erase them. But I'm trying to draw a little harder than I usually draw because I want you to all see it properly. So these are closer to the eye, so they are wider. Also, the ones which are closer to your eye should be drawn a little brighter in tones if you are coloring. I'll come back to that in the coloring lesson. I'm going to finish drawing 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. And then just draw lines. Outer or inner doesn't matter. So, but I choose to draw them narrower when they're joining into the very end, thus showing the depth of it. Okay. And then we can do some fillers over here. Like we're doing some grass or stuff, you can add them back in right now in the background. Okay, if you can't this far, you can add these details. These details are up to your own wish. You can add this bricks in, which make it look beautiful. And I missed one window over here. You can add a round one or a squarish one or a rectangle one. You can choose to do anything. And I did an envelope letter post area over here. Usually see it in Tom and Jerry drawings. So I thought that would be cute to add in. So I added that. Okay, to step back and then draw in the background, I'm going to use the eraser and then erase these off over here. I hope you wrote down the techniques that I used here. And then work on the background tree over here. Make your point on where it's going to start, somewhere in the background over here, and how high it is going. Probably then hide the bark of the tree in the background of this home over here. And then you can, when you go along this technique, you have to keep erasing it. So it's first draw and erase is the technique that you use. So draw to join the lines over here, slide your pencil down and sketch it out with the curve. They're supposed to overlap with the home. So the more you overlap the items, the more 3D it's going to look. So when you're drawing the bark of the tree, the top is going to be narrow and the bottom is going to be wider. Always remember the ends of the branches are going to be thinner than the place where the branch is actually starting. So make those notes on your end. And then I'm going to push it onto the back of this home over here and then continue it through the line and then just continue drawing with a nice wiggly curves over here. And then do the same thing to branch it out in any way you want. So I made two big lines over here. So I'm going to branch all these other branches in between over here. I'm going to draw a major branch over here with a V structure like this. One is shorter, one is longer. You can pick any angle, doesn't matter. The same thing. So here is the V structure. So once you finish this branching, draw a line parallel to the structure you just finished. And then again do another V over here with another angle. Another V over here. And then you can keep adding more V's as you want to. It all depends upon how you're branching. So I'm going to extend these lines after I finish branching here. So the more branches you add, you just basically go ahead and then draw these structures like V and then go back and then branch it again. So I'm going to work over here in the corner. So the goal is when you're drawing this, remember that the place where you're branching at, the joint of the branch have to be thicker than the branches that you are working on. This has to be thicker than the branch that you are working on, the ends of the branches. So those will be thinner. So this area is thicker, so I'm going to branch it out over here. And this area is way thicker, so I'm going to make more branches in here. You don't have to branch all the things that all the joints that you see. You can try to limit it, but see whatever fits in your drawing and then you can work your way there. And then once you have a main line, you work on making a thinner one, come all the way through the end and then branch it out. It's the shape like a V, but again, I'm drawing it at an angle. So if you see you want to go more wider in any area that you are seeing there's not enough stuff to put in, not enough branches to put in, or you have more area to work on, then you can surely branch your way out there. But again, this is the detail in the background, so you don't have to go more detail. That should be good enough. You can add one more over here to show the depth of the image over here. So I'm going to branch one more over here, and then draw there, and then I'm going to erase over here, draw and erase. So you branch this one over here. So I'm going to branch this out, and then it's going behind this home. There you are. Perfect. Yeah, you can add as much as you see fit. Okay. So the other things that are majorly in this drawing is this huge close-up flower photo over here. You can choose to draw any kinds of flowers. I chose the hollyhocks. They're beautiful. They are bright in color, so the foreground pops in well. The hollyhocks look good in the picture, and they have this bright centers as well. So I'm gonna draw. This is very easy. They have like four sides of the same flower. So the side that we are seeing is on is which is closer to the eye, towards us. So I'm gonna erase, make some room over here, and then start drawing. Go ahead and draw. Make a wiggly shape. Don't have to be very perfect. Make a shape over there, and then pick a center, and make another, which is something similar in the center. The only thing that I do here is make a smaller hole in the center, and this is towards the end of towards this side of the curve is this side of the picture, because it's the depth that shows in the drawing. So that's one flower over here. So add another one which is closer to this flower, and then I've overlapped it, and then follow the same thing in the center, and then the inner hole that I'm drawing is towards the left side, showing the depth of the picture here again. Follow along, doing the same thing. You can leave a slight gap in here to fill in with the other fillers, which are the leaves in this case, and then draw. These are like amoeba structures, so you can choose to draw whatever structures you want, which is like like an oval kind of shape with wiggly oval, and overlap them as you see fit. So the higher you are going, the smaller the flower is. And at the way end, you don't draw the centers because they are just buds, and then you overlap them. Draw uh, like a squished heart kind of shape over here. Do the same thing, overlapping one another. There. I'm going to come back and draw the leaves later, but I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just a close-up of another flower over here and another flower here. What does this do? This image that we are drawing right here, the flowers will push back the entire drawing. The perspective of this home over here pushes it back, giving a 3D look. So I'm going to draw one more over here in the background. I'm going to overlap them. If you have room, you can overlap them. If you don't have room, you can draw them closer to each other. The angle that you choose, the center pod as well, you want to choose the same angle that you're drawing the flower, because they go along together. So the higher you go, the smaller the flowers are. So if you think there's something they're way too close, go ahead and overlap them. Don't be afraid to overlap them. If you overlap them, they look good. So draw and erase. The two pots in the top higher up are smaller. Okay, there we are. So if you overlap them, they look good. So I overlapped this guy on the back, so this is going in the background. So I'm going to bring this forward and push this to the background again. So once you actually drew it, then you know to position them either back or forward. Okay, one more over here, straight up here. So I'm gonna work my way from here. So I'm gonna erase this part over here. Just erase the place where you're working. Assuming your flower is over here, slightly erase it and then draw, and then erase all the other details that are inside of the picture so you know where it's going. That way you don't lose all the background. So again, if your lines are lighter, you won't show up those muddy erase marks over here. And then again draw, and then erase. So I drew my flower, and then I'm going to erase the background which shows up through it. Draw and erase some different shapes. You can angle them in the same way that they are angled right now, and then make some room. Draw and erase all the inner details. Don't end them at the same line that you're drawing. Just end them like one is shorter and one is smaller. That way it look way better. So you can see the background in here. We're gonna draw the background in color and then the foreground as well. So wherever you see the spots that you have the gaps in here, go ahead and fill them with the leaves. The leaves are basically like I'm going to draw a smaller one over here to explain how I draw it. So make 2 points where you're starting the leaf from and then where it's ending, and then just do your way curve outside that way, and then the other one follows the same pattern that way. And then to show the depth of this leaf, you can draw under it, not all the way through, but you can end it right in the center over here, closer. That way you can see the depth of it. And then your curve has to be also contour line, which gives the depth of the leaf over here. We'll do one more over here in the same concept. So 2 points to start with. And then how big is the leaf? And then curve your way out with 2 curves or 1 curve, however you want. And then parallel curve. And then for the depth of the leaf, join it all the way in the center until the center. And then give the depth using a contour. Okay, these are the leaves which are this side. So I'm going to do the same thing, the same concept on this side. 2 points and then curves and then wiggle it. So over here, draw. These are my 2 points over here. That's how far it's going down. And this is the angle that I'm seeing with the leaf. So I don't see a huge line under it rather than a very smaller one. And then I'm going to erase the background here. Wonderful. Then I'm going to draw one more over here, 2 points. And then that's how high it's going in. And then I'm going to wiggle it. And then the depth. And then the contour line in the center to give the angle of the leaf. Perfect. I have one room over here, 2 points. And then I cannot see the end of the leaf over here. It's too big. So I'm going to wiggle it, leave it over here, and then do the same thing. Contour line in the center, give the depth of the leaf. That's it. I have good room over here. I can do more leaves. So and then overlap the leaf over here with the sky, pushing it behind, and then the depth of the leaf. Same thing over here, depth of the leaf. Okay, when we are doing coloring, I'm going to do the coloring in watercolors. So when you're doing the coloring, you can figure out if you can add more leaves, smaller or bigger, to build up the background and the contrast. Wonderful. We're almost to the close of the session. You can choose to draw the other details. You can choose to add more details. Here over here, I finished the drawing with adding some foliage in the foreground. You can choose to draw either a post box or any rock that that you want to draw. You can make a shape of a rock. You can go creative. So I'm trying to do the depth. If you haven't covered the concept of depth, then you can just draw in a 2D. And yeah, this is going to be the other side of the home, so I cannot continue the foliage over there. I'm going to start a different one over here, or I can draw a different kind of flowers. Over here, I drew tulips in the background, so I'm going to draw one over here to show you guys, a bigger one, a stem, and then a shape of a heart. Let's see. Stem and a shape of a heart, and then divide it, and then add a couple more petals, and then background. So for the tulip, the leaves are a little bigger. So you're going to draw the leaves bigger and end them in the thinner at the ends. I'm not going to keep them here. I just drew them oversized so you can just see them. But this is in the background. This is closer to the home. It's farther from the eye, so they're going to be small. You can choose to draw foliage, which just look very simple, and then have a smaller flower in the foliage, something which is very simple. You can do that as well. And then make sure you're drawing and then erasing so that you will cover your background as well. The coloring will give the great depth for this picture, so we are good. And I want to talk about the lines on the roof. The lines on the roof as well, don't draw them parallel to this line, but choose to draw them straight way down, vertical lines. That way it's more it looks like a cartoony kind of a look to this drawing. So you can draw parallel to the roof, but I like the way it is slowly evolving down and just changing the lines towards to match up to this parallel to this line over here. So I started drawing a vertical line straight up over here, and then slightly angling it as the way when I'm coming all the way through. Okay, then create the depth of the roof, and then go ahead and add these lines as well once you're done. Once you're finished drawing, I would like you to outline it with the Sharpie or with any marker, and the lines which are the shadow lines or the depth lines which are in the deep, make them darker. Over here, make them darker so you can show the depth of the picture. And then you can add more details. I'm going to just do this brick over here because it's a little challenging. The way I work is the points that I work are closer, nearer at the center, nearer at the door opening, and then farther down, farther at the very end. So, and then curve in again like that. So close, like nearer to close points, and then far points, which are at an angle, and then curve them in, and then keep going your way, work your way all the way through. You can make points if it makes it easier, but the important thing is you're doing some curves, and make and keep an eye on the room that you're leaving in between each of those. Also, the brick on this side, I'm going to draw a little bigger than the ones on this side, giving a 3D look. You can ignore that if you cannot. Okay. There we go. We have the basic drawing, and thank you for watching. Please give us more comments and suggestions. I go ahead and finish your drawing with the outline, and I will see you in the next class with some coloring. Bring to your class. Set up your class with nice watercolor ready at your desk, clean water, and then few brushes, a round brush, and an angle brush if you want to. Mostly, I'm going to use the round brush and a square brush for the background if you really need to use it. But for all the details over here, I'm going to use a round brush, and then some pretty colors. I will soon post a video of the color drawing for this picture over here, and then I'll draw along with you this picture in the next class. You can add more details, or you can reduce whatever you don't want to do. Thank you for watching. Take care. Subscribe and like. Thumbs up. Bye bye.